So once you've chosen your foundation shade and you're happy with it, you're going to want to know how to apply it, and I'm going to talk through my favourite application methods today and show you some other alternatives as well. Always put the foundation on the back of your hand, never like go in straight away like with your fingers and start smearing it all over, because you're going to want to be in full control of how much you apply. I like two brushes. I like the buffing brush, which is really popular. Most people use a brush like this. This is the Real Techniques one. And I also do like a flat foundation brush. Not as many people like this, but I do often see makeup artists using this because you do have a lot of control with this. So pick up a small amount on the brush, and if you feel like you have too much, you can always dab off excess. And then most of the time people need the most coverage kind of in the centre of their face, so we usually start in the centre and kind of blend outwards. It really packs on the product and you get a really flawless finish, although it can look a little bit streaky sometimes. It doesn't really now, but say if you use this and it did, what I like to do is grab my buffing brush and actually go over the top of that just to really kind of blur the edges, and it just gives a really smooth, professional, flawless finish. You can just get the buffing brush, same again, just dab a little bit on the brush and just work straight in. The buffing brush is great because it really blends as it goes, so you don't have any edges to your foundation and it just looks really smooth. So it's all about building in thin layers. You never want to go in with a ton of product because it's going to be really tricky to blend. So on the other side of my face, I'm going to show you a beauty blender. This is actually the Real Techniques one, which is like a drugstore dupe for it. I still prefer brushes, but I'm just going to show you how I like to apply foundation with my beauty blender. So I just go straight in with the product, again just dab in a little bit on my face, and then you're going to want to rinse this under some lukewarm water, gently squeeze out the excess, so it should be damp but not soaking, and you literally just bounce it off your face, and this gives a really natural look. And again, just slowly build up and really gently bounce over. I like both methods. I prefer brushes. It's all about trial and error and just discovering what you really like. I always take the very last bit and just kind of buff it over the neck. I will show you how I like to actually set and powder my face. Depending on your skin type, you might want to use powder all over, you might just want to use a little bit down your T-zone. It also depends on the look you want. So some people like to dab like a tiny bit just down the T-zone just to prevent shine but still keep it dewy on the cheeks. I like to powder all over, and I'm going to use my Kabuki brush. Any sort of big fluffy brush is great, and I'm going to use my pressed powder to make sure it's perfectly locked in and the coverage isn't going to move. I like to dab, so literally just kind of like a stippling dabbing motion. I always start in my T-zone because I am oily, so I do need a fair amount of powder there. So that's how I like to set my foundation. If you were going to use just a small amount, you might want to actually use a smaller brush as well. I like this for kind of midday touch-ups because you can really concentrate the powder just where you feel like you look a bit shiny and you want to prevent like the oil coming through and making you look greasy. For me, that's usually chin, in this area here, along my nose and my temple. You could just skip powder altogether. I know a lot of people do. I just feel like blusher and bronzer and everything else blends so much easier over the top when you have set your foundation. Make sure you catch up with the rest of the series. I'm going to link the playlist here. Next time we're going to move on to eye makeup because eye makeup is my favourite thing, and I can't wait to share my top eyeshadow application tips with you. So stay tuned and make sure you subscribe for that, and I'll see you in my next video.